Alabama football has been very, very good to Nick Saban. There's no doubt about it. He's won championships. He's put a lot of players in the NFL, and nobody would argue if now was the time for Nick Saban to begin planning for his retirement. Seems though he already has been planning for his retirement. Nick Saban has purchased a $17.5 million home here in South Florida. Yes, right here in South Florida. Not over on the Gulf Coast, not on the Alabama shores, not in Myrtle Beach, nowhere but South Florida did he find his relaxing oceanfront retirement home. A $17.5 million spread that goes from the Intracoastal to the ocean. It's an awesome property. Let's take a look. This is from the Palm Beach Post, which is one of the newspapers here in South Florida, obviously in Palm Beach County. Nick Saban joins other celebrity residents on Jupiter Island after a $17.5 million purchase. I am very, very familiar with Jupiter Island. No, I didn't live on Jupiter Island, but I did live in Jupiter, and it's amazing. The lifestyle in Jupiter is second to none. It's amazing. So let me go through this article with you. The 1.6 acre estate, which stretches from the ocean to the Intracoastal, as I said, was bought under a Delaware limited liability company named At High Tide, according to Martin County records. Martin County is the county just above Palm Beach County. Let's go further in the article. One-time Miami Dolphins coach Nick Saban quietly purchased an art deco inspired beachfront home on Jupiter Island this past spring for $17.5 million, joining a legacy of sports-related celebrities to live in this Tony enclave. It's amazing. It's a small island community, and some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment live there. Nick Saban bought the estate because of Delaware's strict corporate privacy laws, and little information about the people connected to the company is available in public records. However, the blabbing realtors who represented the seller in the deal confirmed that the buyer is none other than head football coach of the University of Alabama, 71-year-old Nick Saban. Corcoran agents Joanne Wagner and Susan Turner listed the 6,200 square foot house, which initially hit the market with a sale price of $21.5 million. Saban was represented by Tom Hughes of the Hughes Brown Group at Compass. It's a stunning property, and you don't pay for the house on Jupiter Island. You pay for the location. Check out who some of his neighbors are and who else has lived on Jupiter Island. It says Jupiter Island is also home to golf superstar Tiger Woods and other celebrities. Jupiter Island, which spans Martin and Palm Beach counties, is also home to golf superstar Tiger Woods, Hall of Fame golfer Gary Player. Former celebrity residents include legendary golfer Greg Norman, who's also a real estate developer in the area, country music star Alan Jackson, and singer Celine Dion. I also understand that Rory McIlroy also owns a home in the area as well. So this is a just fantastic area for Nick Saban to retire to. Sports Illustrated wrote in 2019 that Saban liked to vacation on Boca Grande, which is on the Gulf Coast side of the state above Fort Myers, partly because of the laid-back attitude of the locals who aren't starstruck every time they see a celebrity. Wagner said Jupiter Island residents have a similar style. Now this is where I can absolutely agree and underscore that. You see, Jupiter Island, being that most laid back of places, is where you could go out to dinner, like my wife and I did, wearing your flip-flops, short, in, my absolute have-to-have hat, and you're sitting right next to a billionaire. No lie, you can be sitting right next to a billionaire and nobody bats an eye. It's the perfect place for a high wealth individual to come and live because everybody's chill. It's just a really chill area. Quick story, absolutely true story. My wife and I went out to dinner one night in Jupiter at a place called 100 North. And we're sitting there, really, really nice steakhouse, having dinner, and this big guy comes walking through the restaurant. And of course, because of his size, a lot of people look up, and then you hear the whispers going on. It was none other than the owner, Michael Jordan. And yes, that Michael Jordan. He has a restaurant in Jupiter, frequents it a lot. I don't know if he's still the owner, but he was at that time. Tiger Woods has an amazing restaurant who would show up one time. This is, again, not a lie. One time we went to the Woods, which is in Jupiter. Went to the restaurant. The guy opening the door was Tiger Woods. My wife and I both went like, is this for real? Yeah, he was just sitting there being a maitre d' for the day, just open the door and letting people in. That's the kind of environment Jupiter and Jupiter Island have, which is perfect for a guy like Nick Saban. Now, I'm sorry for some of you Alabama people, he's coming down to Florida and he bought a house that's basically Florida themed. So I'm sure what I'm about to show you will change. It'll probably change into, you know, Alabama colors, but when he bought it, this is what the house looked like. So this is the house that Nick Saban just purchased. This gorgeous mansion that sits on the ocean and on the Intracoastal. That's his backyard. That's Nick Saban's new backyard, right on the beach. He wants to come out and have a drink and chill and look at the ocean, the sunset happening, or sunrise rather. This is, again, the beach is right in his backyard, so you can see these amazing sunrises as they occur. Have your coffee, read the paper, check out some stuff online, and watch the sun come up. And you could see it from every room in the house. As you can see, it's floor to ceiling windows. Here you've got this, the other side of the house, you've got a garden that's basically your basic Zen garden. There's an overhead of the house looking out over the ocean. It's amazing. It just, I mean, just, this is the kind of property that if I could retire in, I absolutely would. Can you imagine having the beach as your backyard? After going through so many practices, so many years of playing football in Louisiana and Miami as a coach for a short time, and then all this time in Alabama, this is where Nick Saban is going to retire. Big question is, when's he going to move in? I mean, obviously his wife may move in now because I'd want to be in that house as soon as possible. But when's Nick coming down? Yeah, of course he'll be down after the season, but I guess what I'm saying is, when is Nick hanging it up at Alabama? That's a complete look of the property. You can see both sides there. It's an amazing property. 6,400 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 6 baths, right on the ocean, right on the Intracoastal. It's got a dock right there where he can put that giant boat up there, hang out with Tiger. Take some fishing trips with Rory McIlroy or, you know, Michael Jordan, hobnob with all these guys, go to dinner at Tiger's restaurant. It's an amazing place to live. And this property, it looks like a golf putting green in his backyard as well. But this property is amazing. And the only question that remains is, when does Nick become a full-time resident? So let the speculation begin. Does Nick Saban retire after this year, or does he have another couple of years in the tank before he retires here on Jupiter Island? I guess it all depends on how the season and future seasons go in terms of how far Nick Saban wants to take things. I know he probably wants to get back into the national championship, and if he somehow could get another national championship under his belt, I feel pretty confident that he's probably going to ride off to the sunrise down in Jupiter Island. Let me know what you guys think, Alabama fans. I'd love to know what you guys think. Talk to you soon.